Bing, bing, Gettysburg. Wow. I love it. I love it. Bing, 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 bing. You know, the old days, bing, bong, you know, with the map. Bing, 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 bing. Gettysburg, Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. And the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor. Did you ever notice that? No longer in favor. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general. And they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys. But it was too late. Bing, bing, Gettysburg. Wow.
What's up, everybody? I gotta give credit to the person on Twitter that made that beautiful 1-minute documentary. It goes by Randall Stevens on Twitter. If you guys want to,
wow, that doesn't even qualify as a mockumentary. That is all accurate,
except for the added
that's his
bangs.
words.
That's an actual Donald Trump speech. It actually might be my second favorite. It's actually, I think, my second favorite speech. My first favorite speech is still the one where he talks about corn not being.
Yeah, the corn is the best.
Not
ding,
liquid.
ding, corn.
Oh, shit. Really? All right. So welcome back to the show. So on this week, we're going to talk about what we think is the absolute beginning of the end for Donald J. Trump. He's still trying to distance himself
from everything.
Not working. From Project 2025, and we have just more videos proving that it's everybody he's associated with is basically part of it, or indirectly or directly, basically at this point.
Yeah, I would go as far to say is directly spoon feeding Donald Trump and his campaign their message.
Yeah, exactly. So we have some videos on that. We have Paul Dans, the one that just was let go from Project 2025, who is still with the Heritage Foundation. Project 2025 is still alive and well. It's not like it's going anywhere. That's stupid. They've been working on this plan for years. You think they're just gonna like, okay, we're just okay, sorry.
No, you got us. You got us.
We're done. You know, they've invested probably hundreds of millions of dollars at this point into this plan. Fred Trump, Donald Trump's nephew, speaks out. We have more video of that. We showed a little bit of it last week. Google searches for weird are up. You'll be just we'll leave you in suspense as to why.
I want to point out, people are getting confused. If you're just like normal weird, like a dork, a nerd, a geek, all that, that's great. That's what makes us all wonderful and makes us worth knowing each other. And that's the stuff you want to preserve. The weird that's being associated correctly with Donald Trump and the Republican Party is like the guy with the van walking around in circles just wearing a trench coat weird. That's
right. Like there's a good weird and then there's a bad. There's definitely
these are the bad weird.
All right. So then we have some videos of Fox News freaking out about being called weird. Donald Trump, I can't believe he did this. Called and started ranting about how he doesn't like being called weird. So it's taking its roots, and they don't like it after all the names.
It's working. Because all you got to do is get under Trump's skin, and he is enraged and uncontrollable even more than usual. And right now, all these things that are contributing to his downfall are just living under his skin like parasites. It's awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic. And then we have some dumb videos for the last couple rallies that he's done. And then we're going to get into the interview that we hope in history goes down as the end of Donald Trump's political career with the National Association of Black Journalists. We think that Donald Trump thinks NABJ stands for National Association of Black Jobs. I swear he does, because he's a moron. So let's get into it, man. First, I want to talk about Elon Musk before we get into all the topics, because this has me pissed off. We actually found out, this story was posted on Twitter, okay? Elon Musk's insidious new strategy to help Trump win. In case you haven't heard this story yet, Elon Musk's new super PAC is collecting scores of voters' personal information under the guise of inviting them to register to vote as part of his efforts to boost Donald Trump's presidential campaign. But no, instead, what it's doing is collecting all your vital information, name, address, date of birth, who you vote for, what party you vote for, all that stuff. And then at the end, it gives you a link you could go to, an external link, like, yeah, go piss off and go look over here. But after they've already collected all your data using Twitter, that's illegal. Like, and I hate to say it, but we got banned for a week just for saying this. Okay, I posted, and this was in response to somebody else posting Elon Musk needs to be arrested because this is obviously against the law. I put, forget arresting, Elon Musk needs to be effing exiled. And I'm sorry, I stand by that statement, because if you come to this, you're an immigrant that came to this country, had great success under democracy, under capitalism, and then you're going to use that money to fund the overthrow of democracy, get fucked. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, but it's also the irony of these men, we'll call them for sake of argument, that like love to pretend they're alpha males, right? They're all sunning their muscles, they're all just sharing pictures.
My nerves.
Muscles, but at the same time they are the weakest babies. Like, right, isn't it true bullies in general are the ones that have the most fears, the most insecurities, and they're just pushing it out on other people to make themselves feel good? Well, Elon Musk, we didn't say anything in that tweet. You want to ban us if we said something that is accurately incorrect or offensive? Fine, we own that. But literally all you did is like make a free speech comment about the owner. I mean, it's a little obvious that when you say something that isn't hateful, it wasn't hateful, it wasn't hate speech against the owner of Twitter,
at all,
and you immediately get banned from it. Gee, it's almost like there's a filter in there that says anyone says anything mean about me, auto ban them.
That's what I'm saying. But that was not violent speech. I didn't say he needs to be taken out or anything like that. Jesus Christ. And you don't understand, if you're not on Twitter, that's light. That's nothing compared to the stuff that he allows to be posted on Twitter with absolute no consequence. If anything, they're amplified, honestly. And I hope the numbers eventually prove my theory. But since VP Harris has decided to campaign for president, I swear on TikTok and Twitter, they are pushing and pushing and pushing MAGA accounts. I know they're doing it on Twitter. It's obvious. They've been doing it on Twitter, but Jesus, on TikTok now, I can't watch 5 videos without seeing a live of some MAGA dude with a Trump flag in the back, talking about Christianity and the Second Amendment. I'm like, bro, this is not what I don't
it's
search
one
out
thing,
those accounts. It should not pop up on my feed.
It's one thing to have CEOs, industry leaders contributing to political campaigns. That we can have a discussion about. But when you are openly campaigning for a candidate and running a social media platform, we're not talking about like, oh, this is a dishwasher magnate and he's saying things, oh God, dishwashers can affect everyone. No, to pretend that Twitter and social media in general isn't the dominant way information is spread, and then to go ahead and force a certain viewpoint, or I don't know, go against your own rules, Elon, and put AI altered voices of the vice president, a presidential candidate.
That's
like you're clearly trying to influence an election. This isn't even hyperbole. This isn't fear. This is, well, I'm afraid of it because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if this continues. But you have the main social media platform where the owner is already violating his own privacies to protect elections by then interfering in elections. Come on.
I think what happened was these tech bros got too big and too rich way too fast, and our government works slow as hell. We've had no checks and balances to put in place on these guys, and they've just been allowed to do their own thing for years now. I mean, honestly, is it too hard to propose that there's a code of ethics that social media platform, at least the owners of social media platforms, has to go by? Because it's going to have to be a law.
It's going to have to be a law. The problem is we're again at a point where we've had social media for too long without legislation. And hear me out. When I'm not saying a restrictive sort of legislation or
anything
like that. I'm saying, like you said, Jeremy, a code of ethics defining social media. Now that social media is the dominant form of not only information gathering, but networking. Okay. The only reason anyone in any country knows what's going on in Gaza is because of social media. Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason anyone knows that what's going on anywhere on the planet anymore with some sort of even eye on it is social media. So the fact that we don't have protections so that it isn't abused.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Ridiculous.
Like Elon Musk posted, like on X, if you do post an AI video, the rules say you're supposed to tag it as an AI video. Well, you got Elon Musk posting videos that are obviously AI and not doing that. So you know what I mean? Come on, somebody's got to step in at some point and stop this guy, because and you can look on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, there are plenty of lawyers that have quoted exactly what laws that Elon Musk broke by doing this. So this is not my opinion. These
well, you know, the party of law and order.
Well, of course, and except for elections, or when the laws apply to them,
or private
but everybody else.
Or private citizens meeting leaders of state at their own club and home in Florida.
Yeah.
Which is illegal, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. So I have a few videos that would disprove Donald Trump's, I'm not involved. I'm so upset about Project 2020. It's not going anywhere, people. Okay. Like I said, they've been writing this plan since Donald Trump left office. But basically for Donald Trump, because it's all his people that are involved. Here's one of them, John McEntee, who I think the title was Chief of Staff. He says hiring and firing in the video, so I'm guessing. And a lot of people called him the closest person to Donald Trump while Donald Trump was in the White House at the end. Here he is bragging about how he works for the Heritage Foundation. Okay, let's go.
I work for the Heritage Foundation on their Project 2025, which is in charge of staffing the next administration should Trump win. So in the last year of the administration, last year in the White House, I ran the personnel office, which is in charge of like hiring and firing 4,000 political appointees in the executive branch, anything from like the Secretary of Defense to like a scheduler. So we're kind of like thinking ahead, like if Trump wins in November, who are good people to get in? Like who are the people from the last administration that were super successful and competent in their roles that can like move into senior roles, giving him like a team that's all rowing in the same direction to like really hit the ground running. Sometimes that's okay. But, when you have a candidate that like Trump, that's a little more outside the box, you need people that agree with him.
Yeah. That's the same guy that makes the douchebag videos date right on TikTok.
So this guy's acting like they're a benign staffing agency just doing a kindness for President Trump.
Yeah.
And that would be okay if they didn't have a 900-page document that tells you that the entire purpose of their plan is to get people in place that have a very specific, not just political leaning, but entire worldview that is the antithesis of democracy. Right. And it is telling you that it is going to replace all these dark, deep state people, which are literally just the accountants, the people that the secretaries, the people that just work in government. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're going to replace them with, and the word they use in their document multiple times is loyalists. Okay. This is not just a transition team to help make it go smoothly. It's
not at all.
It's actually a totalitarian staffing agency. It's to get people in that are party, leader, then country. Okay, yeah, exactly. That's what this is.
Now they'll claim that we didn't write this for President Trump, but Trump is mentioned.
Why is his name in
2025 a shitload of times.
How about this? Give me that. There are times they might say the next president, but in the document they specifically reference Donald Trump, not in the past tense, but in the future tense.
Right.
Okay?
And in the language of Project 2025, they use the word must. So that's what started leading me to believe that Heritage Foundation is really the one in charge here, not Donald Trump, because they're telling him what to do. Like, you must do this and you must do that. I mean, it's in there a lot. Yep. Basically, ordering him on what to do. So, all right. So Paul Dans was recently let go from Project 2025. I say let go in quotes because he's still at the Heritage Foundation. And here's a video of him. Is anybody even shocked on this one? Here's him admitting that he's been to Mar-A-Lardo. So if Donald Trump's never heard of this and has nothing to do with it, why is the guy who wrote it visiting your personal residence?
Many times. Many times.
Many times.
President Trump, do you have a relationship with him?
Well, sure. In my personal capacity, I'm a Trump supporter and have been down in Mar-a-Lardo many times.
Was the video weird for you? Or could you see it okay?
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, okay. Let me play it again. It just went weird on my screen. Sorry about that. Let's continue.
President Trump, do you have a relationship with him?
Well, sure. In my personal capacity, I'm a Trump supporter and have been down in Mar-a-Lardo many times. But, we have integration with folks on the campaign. The reality is, yes, we often, supply ideas and ultimately we hope to offer personal suggestions. This is really going to be the engine room for the next administration. Many of these folks served and will be called upon to serve again. And I know President Trump's team will be receptive of it.
The engine room is typically a euphemism for a driving force. A driving force is usually the main principled focus of any entity, like a presidential administration. So the guy who was in charge up until recently of implementing Project 2025 for Donald Trump has a personal relationship with him and believes that since they regularly provide talking points to him and policy advice, that Project 2025 would be a engine for him. Gee, it almost seems like it's exactly like what we've been saying for months and what everyone is saying now. Project 2025, whether Donald Trump is their messiah or their useful stooge, it doesn't matter. They said it themselves. This is their last chance. It's in their manifesto. This is our last chance. Donald Trump is Project 2025's last chance, whether they like him or it's a marriage of convenience. Sorry, no divorce. You get to go down with the ship now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we also have Jorkus the penis.
Jorkus the penis.
I can't get that out of my head now. This is him being on audio, doing an interview casually, talking about how there shouldn't be exceptions for rape and incest.
Yeah, because you got to understand, you're just asking the question wrong.
Right. Yeah. And let's not forget, he's personal friends with Kevin Roberts, who runs the Heritage Foundation. Shocker. Oh my God. Is it all coming together for everybody, or do
talks
we have
about
to continue?
Banning abortion? Huh.
Yeah. Sounds familiar. Sounds just like their policy in Project 2025, doesn't it? Okay.
Why are we getting that?
Should a woman be forced to carry a child to term after she has been the victim of incest or rape?
Look, my view on this has been very clear, and I think the question betrays a certain presumption that's wrong. It's not whether a woman should be forced to bring a child to term, it's whether a child should be allowed to live, even though the circumstances of that child's birth are somehow inconvenient or a problem to the society.
So
did he just call rape and incest inconvenient?
Yes, and
oh my God!
He literally but the beauty of it is the beauty of the forced birth movement, okay, is that they only have to hold. They don't have any facts on their side. None. All they do is hold to one thing. They say that as soon as that egg is fertilized, it is a human that has all equal rights. But they're saying at the same time, which is a false equivalence, by the way, but then they're saying that there isn't equal rights because that thing that is not born yet has more rights than the woman who just suffered, or might die. So he's telling you that women do not have the right to live, only at the whim.
How does this man look at his wife?
Because if women are going to not be allowed to have abortions, and men are the ones that help cause pregnancies, who's superior to the other? It's almost like that's what they want.
I mean, seriously though, how does this man go home and look at his wife in the face? And is she? I
don't know how he goes home and looks at his kids when he's pretending that you can't be two different nationalities at once, but that's another thing.
Right? Yeah. How do you go home and tell your kids? Does he only love the white part of his kids? I'm curious. how does this work? How does this dynamic work? Because we have a picture, because this is obviously, she's Indian, he's not. So they have biracial kids, and we'll get into later in the show. MAGA's new tagline now is that VP Harris is not black. That's what they're going with. That's the madness that has become of all of this. They don't know how to attack her.
To be fair,
birtherism. This is Obama all over again. Like, this is the whole birtherism thing. It's just recycled.
To understand, okay. See, now when you're white, you can be Italian, Irish, German, maybe British. No one ever fesses up to that. You could be a Viking, right? Every white guy thinks he's a Viking. So it's funny how you could be anything and everything you want if you're white. But if there's the slightest hint of not white, you need to prove exactly what you are so I can identify you by sight and know that you are what I think you are. Yeah, it's almost like they don't understand things can be two things at once. For example, you can have mozzarella and cheddar, and it is one cheese stick. How about this?
Not the Trump.
Black and white cookies. Now, I know this concept is very terrifying for a lot of racists out there, but you can actually have people that are kind of white and kind of black. It happens. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Right. Apparently not to these people, but I don't understand. He's sitting around promoting these crazy theories and this forced birth movement. I don't understand. I don't know what her points of view. I don't know anything about his wife, and I really don't care. I just don't understand the dynamic of the relationship. Like I don't understand how Tim Scott married his fake wife either. But that's for another show. That's for another show. In case you guys didn't know, Tim Scott got married to the woman. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wait. I'll say it. The woman handpicked to represent his normalness for a campaign to be vice president that was never going to happen because Donald Trump was never going to pick a black guy for vice president.
No,
that's it.
So, but he went through with it. I got to keep up the lie, I guess, is what.
Well, because now what you're going to see is everyone knows the end of Trump is nigh, and everyone's going to start trying to consolidate their little perfect little lives for the next election. So because think about it, the next one without Trump is going to be, people are going to be shooting each other in the streets to be the nominee.
Let's take bets. How long until you think after Trump loses the election that Tim Scott gets a divorce? He's like, oh, damn it. Shit. All of this and nothing. All right. Anyway. All right. So we got some more videos to get into and some tweets and some posts from Truth Social. We got a whole lot to cover. I do want to make Trump look like a total asshole, though. So this is Fred Trump speaking out during the couple interviews that he did.
Oh, this is freaking disgusting.
This is heartbreaking and disgusting, and I can't believe
this is skin crawling. And yeah. I'm sorry. If there is anyone that has been paying attention to Donald Trump for enough time, a couple of years, long enough to really know that he's a piece of garbage, if you think he didn't say exactly what his nephew says he said, you're missing the point. You know, when you hear these words coming up, that you can imagine Donald Trump saying them with no emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like the last episode, we went over the video where he says about his Trump saying the N-word pretty frequently and with his full chest. And this one is about Trump's views on disabled people, even towards his own. I don't know what it'd be, nephew, I guess. Still,
yeah, nephew.
His nephew's son, who's disabled. But here we go.
For the disabled.
I was in the Oval Office 12 times and that was our mission, to advocate for people with complex disabilities. It culminated in May of 2020 in the Oval Office. Donald was there and he was very gracious. Several other folks were there, including the group that we brought down. We dispersed. I was asked to go back and see Donald. He greeted me with his familiar, "Hey, pal, how's it going?" We sat down for a bit, and he just came out with, these people, all the expenses, they should just die. He's talking about human beings who have complex issues, and the first thing he could say was, they should just die. A couple of years ago, I called him. I said, "Donald, the fund's running out." And without hesitation, he said, Your son doesn't recognize you. Let him die.
That's crazy. If that doesn't make you sick to your stomach, I don't know what will.
It goes to the heart of what Donald Trump is. He is a transactional human being. He doesn't have compassion. He doesn't feel any connection with any other human being. He doesn't love his children. He doesn't love any of his wives that he's had.
No.
All right. He doesn't like anything. This is a guy that doesn't have a hobby, doesn't have a pet, doesn't have can't name a favorite show. Because if you asked him, he'd go, The Apprentice, right? The guy doesn't have any likes. He is a pure accounter. I have more than you. I am winning. I am better because I have more than you. If you don't provide some way for him to gain for his own benefit, you have no worth to him. He doesn't understand why people might love someone that has an extreme disability. He does not fundamentally feel that. So get
like
ready,
my daughter,
because I hate to break it to you, in a Trump future, in a Trump healthcare system we have, you're going to see a lot of those benefits go away for the bottom line of the insurance company.
Yeah, because when I was
Read Project 20.
My daughter was young. She was only a year and a half old. Me and I don't know, we're still dating at the time. We were together at the time. We weren't married at the time, but my daughter was born deaf and without, help from the government through programs and through certain assistance and like even her finally getting disability, which was like a years-long process. But yeah, that would be almost impossible. But as a father of a parent or a father of a child who was born with a disability, I don't know. That's just horrifying to think of a world where they just disregard disabled people as
this is the party,
effective, right? As if they were born broken and we should just disregard them, right? This is the party of family values we're talking about here. Unbelievable. But it just goes to show you how cold Trump's heart is. Like, the guy doesn't have a heart. He doesn't have any compassion. Like you said, he's all about money. He's all transactional, and that's all he cares about: power, money, and staying out of jail. That's all he wants to do.
That's it.
It's frustrating. It really is. But all right, so that's all the serious stuff. We wanted to get all that stuff out of the way, and get to now get to the fun stuff. Google searches for weird are up, and you'll be shocked as to why. But let me play the video real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Sometimes there's these attack lines in politics that really just don't take hold. But to me, it feels like a lot of folks are interested in this attack line. So this is Google searches for weird. This is compared to the last 3 months. Look at this. It's up 22%. My God, over the last week. How about over the last 3 days? Searches for weird are up 32%. And of course, weird gets searched all the time, right? Because, I'm weird, you're weird, etc.
No, you really are weird.
I really am weird, right? So when you see this kind of giant jump, you go to yourself, wait a minute, something is definitely driving this. People are interested in the word weird. And the question, of course, Kate Baldwin, is why are they interested in the word weird?
Answer me that question. Can't they be searching weird for non-political reasons?
They could be searching weird. They could be searching for me, for example. All right. Topics increasingly searched with weird on Google. These are the things that are increasingly linked to searches with weird. Look at that. Tim Walz, who you mentioned, who started that attack line. How about Make America Great Again? How about the GOP? How about J.D. Vance?
Yeah, J.D. Vance. Yeah, he is never gonna. I don't know who started the whole couch thing and how it took off like it did.
I was just thinking.
Oh my God!
There are people searching weird J.D. Vance couch, weird J.D. Vance eyeliner.
There have been so many memes of couches.
How about
people
when
are
he
leaving couches outside of like venues where he speaks, saying JD call me signs on it. Like, it's the funniest thing ever.
Jeremy, this one's
how
for you.
did that? What? Who wants a better tomorrow? Yeah, I think I'm the type of person that is crazy to think that the government should do more for its people, not less. Shocker! I know. Don't
You
call me a
socialist,
socialist,
Marxist, communist, lib person.
Like, I think that's what's crazy about the mentality of people. Like, oh, we hate socialism. Like, dude, public school is a socialist program. Like, any social program is like, what's the root word in socialist? Dipshit. It's social. So food stamps, Medicaid, anything like that.
No, all things the Republicans are against.
Program.
All things
Donald
Trump
they can
is
coexist.
against.
Right. They don't understand that. They can't understand how, two things can coexist at the same time. It just has to be, they're so like one or the other. They're so, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here at the same, but whatever. You understand what I mean? There's no middle ground with these people. There really isn't. So, but yeah, we're going to show you why weird has gone up. Here is Fox News having an absolute meltdown and Trump admitting that this bothers him a lot. He does not like being called weird for some reason.
Well, no one's ever called.
Now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger in chief.
And she's just an average woman, Kennedy. She's just an average kind of mediocre person who avoids fixing things because she doesn't want any attention that's negative. She doesn't try that hard. And then when she does not try, she gets in trouble for not trying. And then she yells at everybody else. She likes wine. She likes food. She likes to dance.
Well, they're the weird ones. And if you've ever seen her with the laugh and everything else, that's a weird deal going on there. They're the weird ones. Nobody's ever called me weird. I'm a lot of things, but weird I'm not. And I'm up front. And he's not either, I will tell you. JD is not at all. They are.
They are. I love that part. That's what like a toddler says. I'm not weird. They are.
Jesse Waters is
the mentality of a child.
I find it funny that they really replaced Tucker Carlson with Jesse Waters, because Tucker Carlson is the crybaby, like watered down Timu version of Tucker Carlson. He is. He at least Tucker Carlson could, like, even though his points were bullshit and awful, he could make a point. But Jesse Waters, what was he saying? He is replicating the word salad of his dear leader, Donald Trump. He didn't say a damn thing. And all the things he said are, like he's trying to pretend that she's so vanilla. Right. What does that mean? This isn't a personality. That's right.
It just seems like they're so overcompensating. Yeah, they're trying to point out things that are weird about VP Harris. Hugging, she hugs too much. That's what they're going after. Okay, so far we have
Donald Trump hugs flags.
Right?
That's
weird. And people hug gold statues of Donald Trump. That's fucking weird. I'm sorry. But yeah, so she hugs too much, she laughs too much, and she's average, and she's not black. So that's what they're going after, Fox News and right-wing media and the trolls on Twitter. Whatever, dude. But yeah, I don't get it. But let's go and see. Do I have a couple tweets about this? No, not yet. But yeah, let's get into some of these interviews here. Or I'm sorry, some of the rallies. Oh no, you know what? I do have this video first. This one's great. This was from Vice News, 2017. So everything that Donald Trump says in this video is at least before 2017. So how did he get elected? When you see the
video, this blew my mind after we watched it, and I realized that all of this footage has nothing to do with the last X amount of years since Trump became and then stopped
7-8 years ago, and it's like a minute long. All right, I'll just play. I'd like to remind everybody real quick, this is the same way he describes Israel's missile defense system.
That's right, the Iron Dome. It's a beautiful dome. They have an actual dome. Believe me, I've seen it. It's a real dome. It's beautiful. Bang, and the missiles hit it. Bing, bing. Bing, bing, bing. God.
How is this reality? I don't understand, bro. I don't get it. All right. So let's get into some of the rally stuff. This was this is a few mixed things. I think it's the beginning of this is what I want to talk about. I had so many videos that I took like 25 or 26 videos and mashed them into 15. So there's a lot here. The first one is Donald Trump talking about how he wants to pay off Give me a second, man. This is Donald Trump talking about he wants to pay the national deficit off with Bitcoin.
They think it's good. Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
Ever since they started saying that we are weird, it's because it's a demonic spirit. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's true.
Now, I have seen the consequences.
This is how the campaign is going.
He keeps talking to the crowd.
But isn't it nice to have a president who doesn't need a teleprompter? These teleprompters are just gonzo, folks. They're gonzo.
The gonzo, folks. The gonzo.
Like, come on.
How is this real? Like, this can't be real. Is this really what we're dealing with right now? This is. No, but the Bitcoin part, though, is the real.
Wait. I mean, to be fair, we're going to become, according to Trump, the world's leading producer of Bitcoin, because we are going to start mining Bitcoin within the United States.
He did say he will make sure all future Bitcoin is made in America. This dude does not know anything about Bitcoin, man. And he keeps talking about it. Like, right, who would check? Right, who would check? Right, who? Do you think we owe one specific person $35 trillion or whatever it is? Like, who are we writing a check to? Okay, and we're just gonna hand him a little crypto check. Oh, shut up! Stop voting for this asshole. He's an idiot. This is so stupid. I can't believe that this is what we're going through. But like I said, this is like the downfall of Donald Trump. It's all collapsing now that his mind cannot comprehend. His whole identity.
It's
was
funny
beating Joe Biden. And now they just took his whole identity away, and he has no idea what to do. He is in full-on panic mode. He'll say anything right now.
It's funny because once the whole weird thing happened, it's like everyone realized you can make fun of them, because I think this is like the whole when they go low, we go high. That was never meant as a don't attack. It was remember to be better than they are. Stick to the facts. If those facts make them look like jackasses, that's not our problem. If you're going to be a dumbass and the facts we present show that clearly, you're the one making yourself look like a dumbass. And there are people that don't want to mock them and people that want to keep it straight and official. And guess what? That hasn't worked. And we don't have the time to just be nice and try and win with the kind words. We need to actually make people realize how dumb this all is, how close we have come and are still close to losing it all because of a con man who had a shitty reality show where he fired people that didn't even work for him. Okay? This is all fake. The man is a scam artist his whole life. Anyone that's ever done business with him is either waiting for the check or is somehow themselves getting sued by him because they're too stupid. Okay? So there is no one on this planet that has ever done direct actual business with Trump that thinks he's smart. There's no one that's heard him speak that isn't themselves an idiot that thinks he's smart. So if we have to start mocking Republicans, mocking Trump, mocking JD Vance, as long as we're not being hypocrites about it and making sure that the mocking is accurate and rightful and they deserve it, there's nothing wrong with it. Show what these idiots are. We have 3 months.
Oh, you know what video we'll show on this show? Maybe next time or the episode after that. Did you see the one where he's being interviewed for a gambling license and his argument? You haven't seen that? Oh my God. It had something to do with Native American owned casinos. And this is back in the days, back in like the 80s or something like that, or 90s or something like that. And his argument why they shouldn't have a gambling license was they don't look Indian to me, was exactly what he said. And the guy the guy that was hearing him, like the hearing he was at, the guy that was holding the hearing was just like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe he just said that. He didn't say that. His response.
Oh man.
He's like, thank God that's not how you measure a person's, rights in society. Which he had a good point, because Donald Trump's walking around going, you know what I mean? I don't think they're Indian. That's crazy. Just because they don't look like it. I'm like, what? Oh my God, this is so stupid. But it's just the same thing. Donald Trump's doing it now with the Olympics. Just because a boxer has more masculine features and is very strong, the right wing has totally destroyed this person on social media, calling her trans, which she's not. She's not. Born a female.
End of story.
Has high testosterone, as do a lot of female athletes, because they train all the time. Jesus Christ.
But also the irony, this is the thing. The right has shoehorned themselves into the argument that men are this, women are that. There is no gray, no exception. Well, once you enter that bullshit argument, you now have to set defining limits, which means anyone that falls outside of it is abnormal. Well, okay, Michael Phelps is known to have biological freaky arms. Should he have been allowed to compete against people that had normal proportions?
Size arms, right? I mean,
okay, the idea that you look at someone and go, I know they're trans, is literally just something to keep you safe when you look in the mirror because you think you look the perfect specimen of your sex. That's all this is. Okay, you think that you know what perfect human biology is, what beauty is. If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, then there is no standard of beauty. So to say that there's a standard when there are people, because guess what? If you start testing everyone, you're going to find out a lot more people fall out of that perfect little narrow definition than you think they do. Then what comes next? Eugenics, euthanasia. What happens when your perfect definition doesn't work and you've based all your laws around it?
I mean, they want to outlaw transgenderism, for crying out loud. It's in Project 2025. They want to make it illegal.
They say it.
And they're perfectly willing to just assume somebody's trans because of the way they look. So we're talking in the future of a society where people are calling on their neighbors or reporting their neighbors because they saw their neighbors wife lifting weights or doing CrossFit or something. You know what I mean? Like, where does it end? It's so stupid.
Someone on Instagram made a comment that's real good. Old immigrant. Awesome. Thank you for watching. Conservatives live for looking for someone to accuse of being unacceptable to them. That's right. They're always in search of the enemy. They're the victims, but they're always in search of the enemy, the cause, the culprit, the different, the other. They're xenophobic assholes. That's all they are. End of story.
All right. So I didn't mean to get off on a Olympics tangent because that actually wasn't part of the show. Part of the plan, but it was definitely worth saying though, because it's bullshit. It's just like, you know what I mean? We found out in 5 minutes of doing, like, use Google, people. Stop looking at Fox News. And no, Google is not like they've convinced people that Google is evil. They have convinced Google is woke or whatever. But all right, let's get into some of the rally stuff. Here, this one bothered me. Donald Trump, and this is the stuff he says during his speeches. So if you probably don't watch his speeches if you don't support Donald Trump, but we watch it obviously just to put it on the show and make fun of him. I mean, to talk about it. But this is Donald Trump actually making fun of the call where former President Obama and his wife endorsed Kamala Harris.
Did you see when President Obama and Michelle called? Did you see? Hello? Hello? Yes. Yes. Who is this? Oh, this is Michelle and Barack. Oh. So surprised to hear. They got 4 cameras in front. Oh, I'm so surprised it's on speakerphone. Listen, we just want to congratulate you on destroying Joe Biden. I mean, on winning the... Hey, is Joe Biden was that the phoniest phone call you've ever seen? How do you think, Dan? What do you think? Dan Muser, great congressman. What do you think? Was that a phony phone call? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't get away. In your district, you wouldn't get away with it, would you?
You know what I love about video editing? You can just add silly music to some Donald Trump says. And it just all
you know what's really funny about that? So Donald Trump is mocking the Harris campaign for staging a call that, this is the funny part, everyone knows it's staged. Like, he's so smart for pointing out that there's cameras during a impromptu phone call. There is no one that thought that dumbass.
Oh.
Also, we're talking about a guy who walks out of buildings and waves to crowds that aren't there, or
Yeah, we actually have that on video.
Waves to crowds that aren't there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have him. The next video, I think, has him waving off of his airplane to nobody. There's nobody on the tarmac. And he's in the middle of the night. It's so stupid.
Yep.
Oh, but making fun of that is just like, it just shows his ignorance. Like, obviously it was staged. Yeah, they don't have camera people following VP Harris around all the time, waiting for phone calls that they might just happen to video record. It doesn't make any sense. But yes, this is how dense these people are.
So wait a minute. When Donald Trump goes to all those little hole in the wall restaurants, orders food for everyone, and then leaves before paying, and no one gets food, those aren't staged events? Do you not?
Dude, everything is Donald
Trump. It's a
Trump
campaign. Everything's staged. Yeah, like, come on.
Everything Donald Trump. He is staged union rallies, for crying out loud. His whole life is staged.
From the moment they cram him into his diaper in the morning, he is staged.
Right. The point of it was to display to the people a historic moment. That's all it was. Like, but these people don't get it.
Did you know that this call was staged?
Like, yeah, you know, he had this super gotcha moment just now. We're all just looking at him like, you moron. like how many things has Donald Trump staged? We won't talk about the shooting.
Uh-oh.
I had to hold it back. I had to say it through my teeth. Sorry. Okay. Anyway. Can we, why is the media not at least talking about how Donald Trump has got a magic new year after
whatever
he claimed?
I honestly don't even care anymore. That's been my point for a while. Do you realize no one cares that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump?
Nobody's even talking about
it.
The
left isn't talking about it. The right isn't talking about it. His ear never got hit. Even like we're at the point now where his ear did not even get hit. It's ridiculous. No one cares about this guy.
No, like if it was like a radical left thug. Oh, yeah, I guess that's my title for today's show. If, like, you know what I mean, they would still be talking about it. It's all if it was like a liberal that took a shot at Trump, they'd constantly be talking about it, but they swept it under the rug really fast when they found out it was a right-wing MAGA guy.
They had one corner up as the bullets went off, and they were like, ah, shit, he didn't die. All right, under the rug. Don't forget, the Republicans are trying their hardest. Some of them, and we'll show a little bit later, they are really trying to divest themselves of Donald Trump. So I don't know who would have been involved in some sort of hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, but trust me, there are more people in the Republican Party that wish Donald physical harm than anywhere else, because they're losing their party. It's gone. It's over. He took it over.
He did. He's completely destroyed it. It'll never be the same. They may as well just come out with an entirely new party.
All right, we got to start calling him Don Old.
Exclusively. Trump.
Don Old. We will do our best.
He doesn't like that one either. So yeah.
No one makes fun of him. No one's ever said he's weird.
Nobody ever in his entire life has ever done that. All right, so let's go to his rallies in both Atlanta and Harrisburg. His Atlanta, was it Atlanta? Yeah, his Atlanta rally was empty. And he blames the same place board.
Kamala felt the week before, and it was shaking, or the day before, and it was off the hook.
Yeah, and he actually blames the school board for the lack of a full stadium. Claims there's thousands of people outside. They just won't let them in. He's really losing it. He is not handling this decline very well. And it's not even his right. Him seeing that he doesn't have a hold on things anymore, I think, is what bothers him the most. Like,
he doesn't know the things he doesn't know. He's too stupid to have any idea what's going on that isn't told directly to him. But now that he's starting to see little bits and pieces of it, because they can't hold back the tide forever. They can't insulate him forever. So
right. And we wouldn't even care about the crowd size, but he always brings it up. It's like his main thing. Look how big my crowd size is. And he lies about it all the time. But this is both Atlanta and Harrisburg. And then I added some stuff in there for fun, too.
I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made? And I have to tell you, we have thousands of people outside, and the state was terrific, but the school administration stopped us from getting another 500, 600, even 1,000 people in the police. And she said, violent
He just
mobs,
paused and made up that
let
number.
the violent mobs keep going.
Behind me. That's President Trump, of course, on screen.
Right. It's like the voice of God.
Nobody ran. Nobody moved.
The
They
voice
knew
of
I was
God.
in trouble. They said he's in trouble.
I love that part. They saw I was in trouble. They said, he's in trouble.
You know, I am not a behavioral researcher. I am not, someone who can identify body language to any useful degree. But the guy paused right before he made up a number.
He throws it out there.
500. That's a number that they'll believe. 500 people. 500 people. Okay, guy, you're making it up. And also,
really is.
not to go too deep into it, but to give Putin credit. Forget that Donald Trump is never going to give Biden and or Harris, the administration, credit for getting the journalists, okay?
Yeah.
For Donald Trump to give Putin just so easily, it came out of his mouth so greasy and so perfect and so quick to just verbally tickle Putin about giving him credit for that. Look at what we did. Oh, you and Putin did this? Oh, okay.
I can't believe he did not give President Biden or VP Harris credit. He did not say welcome home to the people that were hostages. He's pissed off that he wasn't the one that did it.
You look at any of the older Republicans.
And
you even look at a George W. Bush who was too dumb to even breathe half the time. They knew how to play the, I don't want to say gentleman card, but they knew how to at least pretend to be human beings. They knew how to give credit and then take away credit. They knew how to play the game. Donald Trump is so dumb and simplistic and immature and unformed that he doesn't even know how to play the game. He's just a stupid child babbling about how great he is. And he can't give credit at all for any reason.
Yeah, and he did call his Harrisburg event, I think, the greatest show on earth, which is what many people call it. In Harrisburg. Was better than ever last night. Record-setting crowd, biggest in the history of that very large and nice arena. Well, I don't know why it's capitalized. Plus thousands plural, that could not get in.
I thought it was 500. I thought it was 500.
Now it's thousands of people. There was a mob outside. It was just
millions of people were going to get into this place that has a capacity of like 20,000.
Millions. Unbelievable. But he wants everybody to believe that. He's also bragging about his fundraising efforts in the month of July, which are good. I'll admit it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but all right. So there's never been anything like the MAGA movement. We raised $139 million in July. I'm giggling already. Alone, we now have a whopping $327 million cash on hand. I'm not going to read the rest of that bullshit. The reason I'm giggling is Kamala Harris raised over $310 million in 8 fucking days, bro. She already has more cash on hand, and she just started this shit like 2 weeks ago. And I'd also like to point out she has 0 legal fees to pay, and she doesn't have an exorbitant lifestyle and appearances to uphold because Donald Trump has a personal jet that's not government funded. He has, Mar-a-Lardo, which is this giant, stupid gold laced club that he runs. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But all right, so before we get into some of the videos, because this interview is with Rachel Scott, just destroyed him. Yeah, and if you guys aren't familiar with that interview,
we think this is NABJ. The one. that might have ended his campaign, because he can't get away from this one. He can't.
I honestly felt like this moment. I talked to Tennessee Brando about this too. I texted him. He said I was the first one to send him a video on it. He sent me an audio message back. He's like, bro, I don't know how he comes back from this. Like, he was taken back. I was excited to break
how about this? We all know what a racist piece of garbage Trump is, but when you reinforce it over again, and you're too stupid to not do it in front of a black journalist, in front of a black crowd at a black organization, my God, you are dumb. Like, you don't even deserve any benefit of the doubt now. You are clearly too stupid to even know your surroundings.
Right. And they were an hour late coming out, and he tries to blame it on them. He does it during the interview. I think it's in one of the clips.
Yes, he does.
But in reality, it's because he did not want them to do live fact checking. And you can tell Rachel Scott was pissed off about this whole thing. As soon as they sat down, she gets into it. And I commend her, actually, for going toe to toe with him. But you can just tell that Donald Trump does not like being questioned like that by a black female. It's just not his style. So he did not
that's a nice way
a single vote on this interview. If anything, the people that are, I haven't made up my mind, I'm in the center, they're going to run for the hills. Nobody's going to support this. So he basically just pleased his MAGA base. He's not winning the hearts and minds of anybody by doing this. And this was so brutal that I think this was the interview that ends his. I hope it's known. I hope Rachel Scott's known for giving the interview that hopefully ends his political career. I mean, I'm not saying she ended his political career. He ended it by his dumbass responses. But I appreciate the fact that she did not throw softballs at him. But this is shows to show you this is what happens when you take Donald Trump out of his little bubble, out of a controlled environment. This is why Donald Trump doesn't do interviews outside of Fox News and Newsmax.
Let's not forget.
Will only debate VP Harris on Fox News and nowhere else because he's a coward.
I think one of the important things.
As a matter of fact, I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's important to know that halfway through the interview that he was already late for because he's a crybaby. Once it was going clearly awful for him, the minute he was asked about Project 2025, his handlers.
Like, no.
Let me explain this. He got up. They got up out of their seats, walked onto stage, picked up Donald Trump, and rushed him out of there.
Yeah, as soon as they asked about Project 2025, they tested. So the hour-long interview was an hour late because of him, and it ended a half an hour early because of him. But who is Rachel Scott? So let me pull up that slide that we have. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so Rachel Scott, this is a photo of her from the 43rd News and Documentary Emmy Awards in 2022. She was awarded as the Outstanding Emerging Journalist. In her words, I can't put into words how grateful I am to receive the Emmy Award for Outstanding Emerging Journalist as a new category for journalists under the age of 35. This is a woman that is exactly the type of person Trump hates. She doesn't have a record to disparage, so he just says that she doesn't have a record is why she's not competent to interview him because she's so young and this and that. He doesn't understand that anyone that has intelligence is worthy of interviewing anyone, especially a presidential candidate, because you being a presidential candidate doesn't make you better than anyone. But he doesn't understand that. So she is someone who has shown great promise. She's an amazing interviewer. If you watch, I think we have some video, but if you watch the whole interview,
we have a few.
Man, the way she carries herself, I don't know most men that would have been able to handle the shit that Donald Trump was throwing at them. She is a credit to her profession. And because of it,
death threats. Yeah.
Because of it, she's been receiving death threats. After the Trump shooting, Republicans seek to pin political violence trend on Democrats. And guess what? Now they're just blaming her for a bad interview. So again, everything that is a result of Donald Trump or Republicans, his little group of ghouls just blames everyone else but him.
Exactly. Even though Donald Trump's the one that fell flat on his face. So yeah, we do have some clips, and I didn't realize we're already in an hour.
They're the party of peace and love, and Democrats are the party of violence. Oh yes.
Right. So, and you can tell Rachel Scott's already pissed at the beginning of the interview, and I like to also commend her for not shaking his hand at the end. She refuses to shake his hand. She's like, "No, I'm good.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that." So here's the beginning. Here's how the interview starts. Okay, brutal.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-A-Lardo resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you?
You're laughing at.
Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
He thinks they're laughing with him. You know that, right? He thinks they're laughing like he's some comedian, and they're laughing in his fat orange face.
Unbelievable. But that's how the interview starts. Way to win him over, buddy. He's mad because they didn't come out and small talk and chit chat beforehand. She's got to right into the topic matter, which this is like what interviews are supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's not a fluff piece.
Holding somebody's feet to the fire. Yeah, we don't need Donald Trump just out there spreading. We already know his lies. He says them over and over again. We need somebody to go at him like that. Say, look, you're lying. It's been disproven. What do you say about it?
This is
he
why
couldn't even
Donald
answer
Trump
a simple question.
Never sits down with real journalists.
Right. When journalists attack, this is his go-to move. When journalists attack Donald Trump's integrity or his whatever, his ego or record, yeah, he attacks them. You're rude. You're from fake news.
That's all he has.
Yeah, it's all he has. He's been doing
bully.
it for years, and we've been allowing him to get away with it. But hopefully this is the beginning of the end of it. So, all right. Then so the next clip is from the same interview where Donald Trump, this is where he blames the NABJ for being late. He says they're the reason. Their equipment is why this started late.
I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense, and then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
There it is. There, he's the savior of the black community, guys. That's what it is.
But you know, he knows he says Kamala's name wrong, and again, in front of a room of black people, he chooses to say her name wrong. He doesn't even have the wherewithal to know how to rein it in and know his audience. Read the room, guy. That's the thing. He's, for someone who was able to just win over a bunch of morons, he's so obviously a fraud to anyone that has more than 2.5 neurons firing in their brain. The guy has no actual charisma. He's not good at reading the room because he rambles and eventually just keeps picking whichever thing gets a laugh or a clap. But usually he's too dumb to realize that he's getting laughed at. Like this, for example.
And it pains me to see especially on TikTok. There's a lot of blacks for Trump, which it honestly makes me sick to my stomach at this point. Like, we don't even support him. So, like, just stop. We're telling you he's bad. He's bad, man. He's a lot worse than people even think he is.
All right, Jeremy. Send a DM to Michael Moore.
That would be good. That would be good. Oh my God. So that's a disaster of an interview so far. Blames the equipment.
And you got to watch the whole thing because it's only a half an hour because he pussed out. But man,
yeah, we're only showing literally 3 minutes of it.
Train wreck. Like if you had a train full of dumpsters and all those dumpsters were on fire, and then that train hit another dumpster fire carrying train, that resulting chaos was that interview. In 30 minutes, I believe Donald Trump secured his loss in the election. From legal voting means, because who knows what they're going to do with the shitty fake electors they've already have in place in red states, but whatever. As far as an electorate goes, Donald Trump shit himself on stage.
Right. So he's up there attacking a black female reporter.
Insulting a black organization.
And I can understand why she's pissed, because she's accomplished. She's probably worked very hard for what she has, and Donald Trump has not.
She's an educated adult.
To be talked to like that from a guy like Donald Trump, somebody who's been adjudicated of sexual assault, or as he's an adjudicated rapist. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on whatever, but you guys know. Yeah. I stopped before the end of the word. You guys get it. But you know what I mean? Like, to have this guy talk to you like that, I understand why she was pissed, and I'm actually glad she held her ground.
The irony is she did her job because that's what a job is for a journalist. Sometimes you interview the assholes because it's important to hear what they say in their own words. And Donald Trump
did get a lot of heat.
They
did get a lot of heat beforehand for even doing this. But I'm actually glad
think about that
in the end.
If anyone believes this, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this exposed how Trump really is. Like,
if anyone thinks this wasn't, and I know it wasn't, but the goofball in me wants to believe this was a troll job. And someone managed to get Donald Trump to go there knowing exactly how Donald Trump would act. Because, my God, who agreed to send Donald Trump to a bunch of educated black people in a journalist organization, a guy that called out an ad to kill 5 black boys simply because they were black and in the wrong place at the wrong time? Come on. Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, right. They should be fired.
Come on.
And I can't believe they had to rush him off stage, man. It's crazy. But so the next video, I think, is where it really just hammers it home, where he comes up with this new thing that right-wing Twitter is running with, that VP Harris is not black. He is like, I never knew she was black. Oh my God. And I'm sorry, because this video totally gives me Ron Burgundy vibes, which is why I made it.
Just do it. She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black.
Black.
Until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
You're black. Jesus, just stop.
And now she wants to be known as black.
I'm terribly sorry. I don't know why I can't stop saying black.
So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman.
Black.
Stop.
Black?
Stop saying black. Historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear.
Black. If I don't say it, I'll pass.
I know. I imagine his people are off camera, just stop saying it.
We've always embraced the dark humor here, and we're always going to. But you can't. I would say you couldn't have written that better, but clearly they did when they made that movie. But the fact that Donald Trump he doesn't even have the wherewithal to realize once he said something that dumb to pivot or stop. He pushes it. He keeps pushing it, and because he hears laughter.
I know, right?
He thinks that he's selling it. He doesn't realize they're laughing at him for being a complete moron, because in that moment, what he said is, I don't understand that people can be 2 different races or nationalities at once. I don't understand that. How could that be? Clearly, she has to pick one.
So that's what they're going after VP Harris for, laughing too much, hugging too much, caring too much. And they're surprised she's black. So let's go over some tweets and then we'll get out of here. But yeah, I had to make that video because of the way he says black. He's like black. He just emphasizes the whole beginning of it. And it just immediately I was like, oh my God. All right. So the first one is Laura Loomer. who Donald Trump praises on a regular basis. This woman is trash. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But she is. And she should seek mental health treatment. She should. Something's wrong with this woman. Screws loose. Like, look at this tweet. She runs with everything that Trump says. Everything. They're hiding Kamala Harris's birth certificate, and the mainstream media manipulation is in full force. While President Trump tells the truth on Truth Social, big tech and the media, I don't know why I'm reading it like this, are censoring and trolling what you see. Print out her birth certificate and show everybody she's lying about being black. This is election interference. Like, everybody, yeah, her dad's like, my kids are Mexican and white. Holy shit. Holy shit. How did that happen?
You're a sorcerer.
I know, I'm a wizard. I create half people. It's just, I just mix
come on.
together. It's so stupid. Oh my God. But that's what they're going with. That's what they're going with. Wait, I think I have one more. How did I almost forget this one? This is Joey Manarino. For those of you guys that don't know, he recently got busted for pretending to be black. Like, everybody thought he had accidentally posted, like, he was pretending to be black, but he accidentally posted it on his obvious white person account. But what it was Vern Spicer, who I guess he works with, has this guy posting on her account as if he's black. So, like, and she somehow thought this justified the situation. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. You have a white person on your Twitter account pretending to be, that doesn't even make sense. But this is Joey. This is what Joey has to say. A child molester appointed, and she, Kamala Harris to be vice president because her skin was dark enough to pretend she was black. The only thing she's ever achieved in life is mastering the art. Yeah. Jesus, I'm not gonna read that part. Sorry, that's awful. But that's
now it's funny.
On Twitter.
I'm not going to go through Kamala's achievements because we're going to talk about that Tuesday. We're going to show people who she is.
Yeah, we're going to be showcasing
why we think it's a great idea. But the irony is a group of people supporting J.D. Vance, who, and let me list his accolades, wrote a book where he pretends to be a hillbilly, and 2, has been a senator for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and he's running around the country saying that VP Harris, she'll just say anything to get the votes. Like, what? Do you have no self-awareness whatsoever? That's what you're doing. That's how you got to be VPs. You're literally saying
we're not the only ones. We're not the only ones that are exasperated by Trump. We're not the only ones that are fed up with Trump. And there's a group of Republicans who previously were known as the Republicans for Biden, and they, as of today, have rebranded themselves as Republicans for Harris. They officially launch aiming for Biden-like appeal to anti-Trump voters. Because I got to tell you something, they are looking for a way to get rid of MAGA. MAGA is the gangrene of politics. And there are people like an Adam Kinslinger, Liz Cheney, who I might not agree with on policy levels, but they have proven that they understand that democracy is more important than the cult of personality and hating people. That's it. So there are a large group of Republicans where, again, I would urge Democrats and progressives to fight them on policy issues as adults, okay? But let's take a look at what they have to say.
Uh-oh, we lost Mike. Oh, no. He just disappeared. Anyway, you guys get the point. I'll finish out the show. Oh, wait, he's back. He's back.
I have no idea.
Why is there laughing? Oh, shit, he just disappeared all of a sudden.
Well, hold on, we'll get back there. So as I was saying, the group known as Republicans for Biden is officially relaunching Sunday as Republicans for Harris, and aides on the revamped Democratic campaign are hoping that a much different candidate will be able to deliver on what had been a key part of Joe Biden's electoral promise. Look, it's pretty safe to understand the damage, or it's safe to say the damage that MAGA has done, that Trump has done to our American politics,
right,
might be irreparable. We're never going to go back to whatever we were, which probably in the long run is better, because we know how fragile our democracy is. We know how many stupid people are willing to take up arms against their own government there are. We know how many assholes are claiming that civil war has to happen because we have to defend Christian nationalism. We know the attacks on our country, our domestic enemies, are real. And there are people in the Republican Party that maybe they should have spoken up sooner, but they're taking a risk now and they're taking a stand. And we have to listen to them, because if they are willing to take a stand and be, guess what? Who do you think the first people would be put out to pasture if Donald Trump wins? Those people who are signing their name and speaking out as Republicans for Harris. So they're taking a huge risk as well, by the way. Okay, because Donald Trump really wants loyalty. And those people are clearly not loyal to Donald Trump. They might be loyal to what they believe is the Republican Party, but they're taking a stand, and we have to take that seriously.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about, they want to lock up reporters and journalists and political opponents. They're talking about it's crazy. Yeah, so that's it, man. That's the end of the show. We hope you guys enjoyed the madness. The downfall of Donald Trump, hopefully, is what we're looking at. And I'm here for every second of it. We'll continue to report on it, because I'm pretty sure it's just going to get crazier and dumber as time goes on. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you see this video. If you'd like to donate to the show, we're trying to get better equipment. There is a GoFundMe link in the description. But no, we thank everybody for participating and watching. And yeah, if you like what we do, share our video with other people so we can, expand our message as much as possible. Or if you can't donate or don't want to donate, all you got to do, like I said, is just like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment for us to respond to, hopefully respond. There's a lot of comments sometimes, so it's hard for just Mike and I to get back to all of them. So yeah, other than that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And like always, we will talk to you soon. Have a good day.
Old, weak.
Many don't feel he is fit.
Sick, tired.
Too old to serve.
Stammering, slurring.
He was ranting and raving.
Slipping, forgetting.
And the guy just kept getting confused.
Slow.
Panic has certainly set in.
You know which politician we're talking about, right? Oh, you thought it was about Joe Biden?
Venezuela, it's unbelievable.
Is he all right?
Let's think about some more words. Liar.
I have absolutely no idea who this woman is.
Criminal. Rapist.
I'm here because Donald Trump raped me.
Scammer.
I can say very clearly President Trump is a liar.
Con man. Gross. Vain.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote.
Cruel.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Disgusting. Creep. You know exactly who we're talking about.
You won't have to vote anymore.
Don't you?